If you're going to marry a monster, make sure you know which kind he is.
This is a Duskull original.
Ivy lets her training take over as she begins monitoring her surroundings, checking for anyone following her. She knew Lev wouldn't take long after their vows to set up a meeting with her father to start their immoral and illegal activities. The new ring felt heavy as she drove to the location she had tracked on her phone. She was glad for her nondescript black Mercedes as she changed routes and then changed again, ensuring she could not be tailed. Once she arrived, she stealthily made her way into the room adjacent to the known meeting room her father preferred. Her studied blueprint knowledge gave her the perfect vantage from a wall's air duct, and she listened carefully. "Come, sit, son." Her father's voice sounded as fake as ever. "Thank you, Mr. Calloway," came his voice. "Please, call me Simon. You are now married to my Ivy after all." His, "Of course my own father would still talk about me as if I were a possession." "Sorry to call you away on your wedding night, my son, but this arrangement cannot wait." Their conversation was the usual code names for nearly everything, polite but blunt. Her father was wanting to arrange an exchange for packages to be delivered from an upcoming barge tomorrow night. They wrapped it up and an agreement for Lev to offload and disperse the merchandise, and Ivy quickly prepared a small transcription of the conversation to her contact. Large hands grabbed her face, nearly enveloping it entirely. They covered her mouth with just enough space for her to breathe out of her nose. She was drawn backwards into a hard chest. "Little Koshka, how close to the fire do you intend to get?" It was him. How did he know where she was? He had caught her red-handed. How was she to tell her new husband she intended on exposing him? He lowered his hands down to her shoulders and turned her around, looking closely into her mask-covered eyes. "You were able to evade my men. Very impressive, but you still have much to learn." He reached around her head to undo her mask. As soon as he was done, the mask was now in his hands, and he smiled. Such a shame to cover such a beautiful face. Her anger rose. She was more than something to look at, but she couldn't let her frustration show. He grabbed her left hand, staring at the ring he had placed on her only hours before, and gently rubbed her knuckles. As soon as the moment began, it ended, as he took the hand and ushered her swiftly out of the building and into his awaiting vehicle. Her heart pounded as she waited to be interrogated, waited for him to demand her phone, but he never did. They sat in an uncomfortable silence for the second time that day. "I can explain," Ivy finally blurted out. She had no idea what she was going to say, but an idea was beginning to form. Lev turned to her. He placed his thumb on her lip and gave her a stern shh. Ivy was frozen solid as he stroked from her lips to the side of her face. They were so close. She couldn't breathe as he leaned down and placed a kiss on her forehead. The reverence in this kiss was shocking, and she closed her eyes without a second thought. When they finally arrived back at their penthouse, she moved quickly back to her new bedroom and locked the door. She contemplated the night's events as she changed her clothes. How had he known where she was? Better yet, he said she evaded him. Does that mean he had someone watching her? Her adrenaline was wearing off, and she made herself cozy in the foreign bed and fell into a fitful sleep. Lev is not in the house when Ivy awakes, and doesn't make his presence known at all throughout the day. She uses that time to connect with her contact and go over moves for that night. Ivy goes into the kitchen for some food, only to find a large box with a bow and her name on it. She flips the card around. "You cannot sneak around in this. 7 p.m. Ivy opens the package, and inside is a stunning floor-length red dress. Lev knew she was going to make a move and is purposefully trying to prevent her. With dinner? Ivy is infuriated. She makes changes to her plans to track the drop-off's merchandise. It isn't ideal, but typically offloading takes a while. Ivy consoles herself that there will still be a chance to disrupt events tomorrow. The outfit does, in fact, make Ivy stand out. She is surprised when Lev comes to pick her up in person, red roses in hand. His stoic expression gives little away as he surveys her. "Red suits you," is his first and only comment as he places his hand behind her back, moving with authority through the complex. Outside the lobby, a sleek, black sports car is parked. Ivy looks around for the SUV, but Lev opens the door to the car. She allows him to help her inside. Lev begins to shut the door when he stops. He reaches across Ivy to her seatbelt, and without looking away from her, he buckles her into place. Ivy's breath catches at the intimacy of such a simple act. He walks to the driver's seat of the car, his masculine confidence on full display as he shifts the car into gear. The drive is exhilarating as Lev expertly weaves in and out of traffic. Where are we going, she wonders. It isn't long until she discovers she is playing a doting wife and arm candy for a formal event with some of America's most wanted. With a strong hand extended, he helps her out of the car in front of the large mansion. "Enjoy yourself tonight," Lev finally tells her. "Do not worry." Worry, Ivy thinks. Is he serious? She should be 20 miles away on the docks, thwarting his nefarious activities, and yet she is playing trophy wife for his dangerous friends. Once inside, Lev is immediately greeted by nearly everyone they come across. He speaks little to those he engages with. But two things stay consistent. He always has a hand on her and always introduces her as his wife, Mrs. Petrovsky. The possession in his tone does not go unnoticed. Once sitting at the dinner table, they are each served food. It takes only a moment to realize her plate is the only one without a parsley garnish sprinkled on top. Did Lev know she was allergic? When would he have time to alert a chef? He has not left her side since they arrived. Her confusion is disrupted when a text comes in on her phone. It's her contact. They say it's urgent. Ivy excuses herself from the table to use the restroom. There are few spaces in this den of lions she can trust to make such an important phone call, but thankfully the bathroom is empty. "What is it?" Ivy asks into the phone. The package was successfully transferred. It seemed to go through typical channels, but we were alerted that everything is now in police custody. Did you arrange this? Ivy couldn't believe what she was hearing. So there was no need for her intervention after all. "No," was all she could reply as she hung up the phone and leaned back against the bathroom wall. Footsteps were coming. She stood up and fixed her dress as the newcomer approached. It wasn't a newcomer. It was Lev, and her annoyance showed on her face. "This is the ladies' room, Mr. Petrovsky." He smirked and continued towards her. "It is husband to you." He was finally directly in front of her. "Didn't I tell you not to worry?" Ivy had trained for interrogation, surveillance, and pressure. She had not trained for reverence.